It's a beautiful early spring for Sacramento homebuyers, but that's actually pretty bad news. Spring is when the home buying season starts in earnest. That's when buyers really go after it, and you get more competition, and you get higher pricing. Exactly how bad is it out there already? That's the question we're exploring in today's Sacramento Real Estate Update for March 5th, 2025. I'm Jon Schwartz, California's 1% homebuyer agent, and my channel is for California homebuyers. I post local market updates, statewide market updates, and California real estate news you need to know, like my recent expose of the California Realtor scam, which has been grifting from California homebuyers hundreds of millions of dollars per year. Check it out there, or the link will be in the description below right after we check out this week's Sacramento numbers. Let's get into it. And we're looking at the latest weekly print from Redfin for the Sacramento metro market. We're looking at the median sale price of a home in Sacramento. And as you can see, we have really seen a sharp uptick in pricing over the past couple weeks in Sacramento. Right now, we are hovering at $591,000 for a median Sacramento home. That's up $37K since our January trough. And what's great about visualizing data like this is you can really see how intense this price growth has been. The slope of 2025 really mirrors the slope of 2022. And what was happening at this time in 2022 is that rates had already climbed from 2.5% to 4%, and we knew they were going to continue climbing up to 7 or 8%. And home buyers got out there and started bidding up prices, and you saw this sharp increase in pricing, and we're seeing it again this year. Whereas if we look at last year and 2023, we can actually see a much shallower, more gradual price climb in the springtime. So what's going on in Sacramento that prices are climbing as though rates were doubling? Let's take a look at the data and see if we can get some answers. Now we're looking at the new listing median price. This is the median price that new listings came to market this week. And I love this metric because it's so current. It shows us what's coming to market this week. And as you can see, median price has actually been falling off a bit. The new listing median price in Sacramento right now is $603,000. That's about $3,000 off of the peak we hit a month ago. And it's good to see new listing median price calm down. This is actually a reflection of agent sentiment. So agents are in the field, they know what's happening on a week-by-week basis, and they're pricing the homes that they're selling. And so when the new listing median price begins to falter, it means that the market is beginning to lose some momentum. So hopefully the huge price gains that we saw in the past month and 2 months will kind of flatten out, and hopefully we'll get to a more normal spring 1 to 2 months from now. Now we're looking at the number of new listings that came to market this week in Sacramento. 518 new listings came to market. That's a nice healthy margin over last year's numbers, 19.4%. And as you can see, the new listings coming to market has been surpassing last year's numbers every week. And that's great. That is a healthy thing we want to see. Listings numbers, inventory is still depressed relative to pre-pandemic norms. We want to get back to pre-pandemic norms so that we can have a market that isn't so difficult. And so the more new listings that come to market, the better. Now we're looking at the number of homes sold in Sacramento by week. This week, we sold 360 homes on the Sacramento market. That represents a 7.3% growth from the same week last year. And if we color between this year and last year, we see that homes sold has been a healthy margin, not a big margin, but just a nice little margin over last year's numbers week in and week out. And something to keep in mind is that this graph is non-cumulative. These are each week's new numbers. We're not adding up numbers cumulatively through the weeks. We're just showing it's each week's numbers. So the cumulative effect of plus 5%, plus 7% home sales growth each week builds on itself. And we've had, in other words, already a lot more homes sold this year than last year. And that speaks to the increased demand that we're seeing that has driven prices up already so much this year. Now we're looking at pending sales. This is the number of homes that went pending in Sacramento this week. And what's worth noting is that pending sales is a leading indicator for homes sold because a home goes pending about a month before it becomes a home sold. When a home goes into contract, it's marked as pending. When the transaction completes and the home is sold, it is marked as home sold. This week, 462 homes went pending. That's actually 1.1% fewer than the same week last year. And we started the year a little bit ahead of last year in terms of pending sales. We're now trailing behind just a hair, and that suggests that we should see the homes sold numbers in the month ahead come tighter in line with last year's numbers. But, we're only 7% over last year in terms of homes sold, so maybe that'll decrease to 2% over last year in terms of homes sold. Now we're looking at active listings. This is the number of active listings on the market. This week, we had 3,815 active listings on the housing market in Sacramento. That is 23% more than the same week last year. Something worth noting with this graph, this is also a non-cumulative graph. This is a running tally. This is how many active listings are on the market each week, what that snapshot looks like. And as you can see, we've been well above last year's numbers every week of the year. So even though we're selling more homes each week, we're also seeing more new listings coming to the market each week. And so we've had a bigger market in Sacramento this year. That's a good thing because, again, one of the reasons why prices have climbed so much over the past few years is because inventory has been so depressed. So the more inventory we get, the more active listings we get, the closer we are to that more normalized pre-pandemic market. Now we're looking at the weeks of supply chart. Weeks of supply is one of my favorite metrics because it balances supply against demand. And as you can see, our weeks of supply has actually been slipping the past few weeks. Not what you want to see at a time of year when prices have just climbed a lot and you're hoping to get a little bit of price relief. Right now, we have 11.7 weeks of supply on the Sacramento market. The good news is that we're still well above where we were last year and leaps and bounds above where we were in 2022. However, the trend is that inventory is slipping. And again, that's not what we want to see if we're hoping that price gains will cool off. And in another troubling sign for home buyers hoping the market pauses a bit before we get into the springtime proper, we have median days on market, which is plummeting. Now, that is a sign of a market that is heating up and becoming more competitive, and homes are coming off of market faster. Right now, the median days on market in Sacramento is 35. Again, the good news is we're still doing slightly better than last year. Last year at this time, median days on market was 26.3. It's a tough market out there, guys, and I don't want you to get taken advantage of by the California realtor scam. So check out my expose. I post Sacramento real estate updates every other Wednesday. So mark your calendars, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.